Coming up at 4:30, severe weather season is off to an early start this year as multiple tornadoes touched down across the state last night. How much damage was there, and what else can we expect going forward? Plus, artificial intelligence continues to both worry and enamor people across the world. What does its future hold, and what implications could it have on campus? And championship season is here for the Broncos basketball and wrestling teams. What will it take for them to bring home some hardware? All that and more on this edition of UCentral News.
During last night's severe weather, there were at least 7 tornadoes and 12 reported injured.
And tonight, thousands are still without power as they continue to pick off pieces of trees and debris left from the tornadoes.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of UCentral News. I'm Edmond Jones.
And I'm Brady Gray. And showing on the screen behind us, drone footage accounting the damage from last night, this in Norman.
Yes, this is Lindsay and 24th. Very hard footage to watch as Norman residents' homes are just completely damaged, windows broken in, roofs ripped off, but luckily it kind of breezed past Edmond.
Yeah, that main core of energy fizzled out as it reached the north side of Norman, unfortunately for there, but for the rest of the metro, very thankfully. In Edmond, there wasn't a ton. We had severe wind. We had wind gusts north of 70 miles an hour. We had wind advisories all the way till midnight. Thankfully, UCO alerts and alerts across the board were very quick and prompt in getting people alerted to the situation.
Absolutely, and comparing last night to today, it's kind of been a complete 180. It's actually beautiful on campus in the low 70s today.
Yeah, a real stark difference, kind of that calm after the storm,
Absolutely.
so to speak. That does not necessarily mean that severe weather is over, as we all know. If severe weather does come back, Destiny Pittman has instructions on what to do. Destiny?
Good evening, Broncos. I hope everyone was safe in the severe weather last night. As we continue on into severe weather and tornado season, I just want to clarify some things to you. I want to explain the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. This is one of the biggest points of confusion for a lot of people, so I'm just here to explain it. So first, a tornado watch means that we have all of the components to make a tornado. That means that the air and the winds are there, but there isn't a tornado active yet. So a tornado is possible. If you hear that you're under a tornado watch, just make sure to check for updates from your local weather stations and then know where your shelters are. If you are on campus, just to name a few of the shelters, there are shelters in the basement of the Quad, the basement of Murdaugh, the library basement, the communications building basement, and the liberal arts basement. Just make sure that you know that if the building that you're in has a basement, and if it does, just make sure to go there. If you get any updates or alerts, it's going to be a tornado warning. So moving on to what a tornado warning is. A tornado warning means that either a tornado is about to happen or it is currently happening. If you hear this, that means that it's time to take shelter immediately. And then make sure that you have your phone so you can get updates, and then just make sure that before you leave that shelter that you get an all clear, that you're safe to go. So as tornado season approaches, just make sure to keep those things in mind. And then, like they said, the weather today is a complete 180. Yesterday was severe weather, and now it's pretty calm outside. So outside it is currently 73 degrees. It's nice and sunny, pretty fair. The winds aren't too strong, and it isn't too humid. It's 73 degrees, like I said, and it feels like it's 68 degrees. And then the humidity rate is 19%. And then the winds are blowing north at 13 miles per hour, so it's not too strong. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Destiny. And despite it being a warm winter, there's still a risk of cold weather, and nobody wants to come out to a dead car battery because of it. The UCO Police Services offer jump starts to anyone on campus that may find themselves in this unpredictable situation. They will also assist in changing tires as long as you provide your own equipment. For help, contact UCO Police Services. They're available 24/7, and you can expect about a 5-minute wait depending on officer availability and location.
And UCO School of Design's first gallery showing of the semester is coming to a close tomorrow. Titled Pigment of Our Imagination, the exhibit showcases the work of design students of all levels. The key focus of this gallery is to show off smart uses of color in both the graphic design and interior design programs. Students created work ranging from product advertisement to brochures and magazines. You can find these artworks on the 3rd and 4th floor of the Nye University Center until tomorrow, February 28th. And keep an eye out for future art exhibits from the School of Design at design.uco.edu.
These days, everybody is talking about artificial intelligence, but what is it? And what does UCO have to say about it? UCentral's Kendall Walton has the details.
Alexa, what is the weather today?
The current weather is 34 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, seems like a futuristic idea out of an Orwell novel, but it's alive and well today. AI has taken over social media by storm in the last few months, causing several ethical debates on whether it's good for society.
So I think AI is not something that is new. So we already know that from probably 7 decades now. So it's not something that we are new to us. But the application of AI is something that we are seeing most recently as a more advanced or more involved into our lives.
People often associate AI as human like robots created to take over the world and erase mankind. But in reality, AI has more practical uses like eliminating racial and gender bias in medical professions and increasing productivity among artists, all depending on its coding.
Do a lot of rational thinking and make decisions, try to see what could be the best move according to their values of their word, right? So they can make this kind of decision.
Back on the UCO campus, the Office of Student Accountability and Conflict Resolution sees AI assistance with homework and projects a little differently.
Looking at a couple different things in terms of holding students accountable for the unauthorized use of these technologies. Because it's not just submitting to write a paper, there's artificial intelligence that students use to do translation for them, with photography, with graphic design. So we are considering that a form of plagiarism.
Wimmer also said they want to give professors the choice whether it's cheating in their classrooms because some use its benefits for teaching. You have seen some AI-generated video used throughout this project. In Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Kendall Walton, UCentral News.
Students on campus can view their class syllabi to find specific guidelines for AI usage.
And images created by artificial intelligence are not covered by copyright law. At least that's the word from the U.S. Copyright Office after it ruled on illustrations in a new comic book created by the AI program Midjourney. While the images aren't covered by intellectual property rights, the text is. The author of the comic book, titled Zarya of the Dawn, didn't reveal in her copyright application that the images were created by AI. Therefore, the Copyright Office is canceling her original certificate and issuing a new one that only covers the text of the comic book. It's a notable development as the exploits of AI programs such as Midjourney and ChatGPT continue to dominate tech headlines in recent months.
And in very different technology news, are you in a long-distance relationship and miss the kiss of your loved one? Now you don't have to. This device made in China allows you to transmit your kiss to your partner. It's advertised as a way couples can share real physical intimacy. It's outfitted with pressure sensors with a silicone mold of a person's lips. It can also transmit the sound of a person makes while kissing. It all works via an app, and people also have an option to exchange kisses with a stranger. The cost? About 41 American dollars.
I can't tell if that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard or genius.
I know that they like us to kind of talk about the last package we do before break, but
Not
we're not
today.
going to today. We're just going to get out the door and get to weather. Destiny Pittman has our first full look on the other side. Keep it here.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the Mass Comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Welcome back from the break, Broncos. I'm just going to go through the current weather conditions of today across the state. So as you see, it is completely different from what it was this past weekend and especially yesterday. It's pretty clear across the state. And then as you can see, all the temperatures are either in the high 60s or the low 70s. So like that nice warm spring weather is coming in. But then also it is Oklahoma, so don't get too used to that weather. We'll start up in Guymon. So up in Guymon, currently it is 69 degrees. It's pretty warm up there. And then down over to Woodward, it's 68 down there. It's also 69 in Clinton. And then as you look, Altus and Lawton are both 71 degrees. And then Ardmore is 72. And then over in McAllister and Idabel, they are both 74. So those are the warmest parts of the state tonight. And then central Oklahoma City is 73 degrees. Up in Tulsa is also 73 degrees. 72 up in Enid, 69 in Ponca, and 70 in Miami. So as you see, we are starting to see some of that nice and warm spring weather statewide. But later on this week, it's going to get a little chilly, and then there is going to be some rain. There's even some chance of snow later on this week. So just make sure to stay up to date and check in with that. And then I'm just going to move on into our 7-day forecast. So as you look, currently outside, it is 73 degrees. It was a nice warm day today. And then tomorrow is going to be even warmer. It's going to be 75. And then it's going to be 67 on Wednesday. So luckily, most of this week is pretty sunny. There are a few days where there is some rain. And like I said, some chances of snow. But as we see these first 3 days, nice, sunny, warm weather. And then moving on to Thursday and Friday, there is a chance of rain. There's a 60% chance of rain for both of those days, and the temperature is dropping down a little. It's nothing too cold. It's typical weather for this time of the year. It's going to be 56 degrees on Thursday and then 51 degrees on Friday. And then moving into the weekend, it's looking like we're going to have a nice and warm weekend. It's going to be sunny both days, and then Saturday will be 56. And then Sunday's going to be 64. So luckily, if you have any plans for this weekend, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get outside. I know that the weather last night was very scary for me. I was on campus actually when the storm, we got the notification from UCO saying that we needed to take shelter. And so the intercoms in my building were going off, telling us to make sure to take shelter. And me and my roommate actually had to go down to the library basement where there were a ton of other students lived on campus that were seeking shelter. So where were you guys at last night when that happened?
You know, Destiny, you all should know that I'm from Texas, so I'm not really familiar with the Oklahoma tornadoes and everything. So I was taking shelter. I was pretty scared. Didn't really know what to do watching the news. But luckily, like I said, breeze kind of passed us. What about you?
You can never be too careful with these things, and Lord knows I was not careful enough. Been here a long time, wasn't really too worried about it. I was probably a little too casual, just kind of minding my own the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And Destiny, you kind of said that the alerts and everything, it was kind of hectic. Was it like that for a lot of people in your building, you said?
Yes, that is true. They had the intercoms going on. It was like telling us, it was like telling you, please exit the building now. Like you're under, there's tornado warning, tornadoes might hit. So all of us had to go seek shelter and that. It was actually pretty scary.
How long were you in there for?
We were only in there for about 20, 30 minutes. But it felt like forever because, like I said, everybody on campus went to the library because that's one of the main places to go, and it's one of the only places that's open during the weekend. So anybody in the library studying, and then anybody who lives on campus was also there. So there were a lot of people there.
Well, glad everyone was safe.
Certainly something for students on campus to keep in mind if and when more severe weather has a chance of hitting.
For sure.
But coming up after the break on social media, Emma Birch has a lot with the award shows and everything coming up.
Stay with us.
back and change it all. I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Emma Birch, and here's your social media update. With the storms that ripped through our state last night, Twitter took notice, and now Oklahoma and hashtag OKWX is trending. Many went to Twitter with photos of the damage caused by the tornado outbreak from last night's storm. Jordan Hall, a storm chaser, posted the photos of tracking the storm and drone video of damage in Norman on his Twitter. The word Oklahoma was used in almost 28,000 tweets, and hashtag OKWX was used 15,000 times since last night. And now moving on to entertainment. This weekend was full of movie awards. The NAACP Image Awards and Screen Actors Guild Awards both had lots of big-time winners. Actor Will Smith was at the NAACP Image Awards with a nomination for his recent movie. Smith won the award for Outstanding Actor in his role in the movie Emancipation. This is his first award since the infamous slap at the Oscars. Last night's 29th SAG Awards was dominated by the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, winning 4 trophies. CNN's David Daniel has more on last night's awards show.
Sally Field received a standing ovation and SAG's Life Achievement Award.
There is not a day that I don't feel quietly thrilled to call myself an actor.
Brendan Fraser.
The Whale star Brendan Fraser strengthened his hold on the Best Actor Oscar race, winning for Male Actor in a Leading Role. Like many winners, he recalled first receiving his SAG card.
It made me feel like I belonged. We're actors. We all want to belong to a tribe. And that's when I found where I belonged. And if you told that guy back then that I'd be standing right here, right now, I would not have believed you.
Jamie Lee Curtis began an unbelievable run for Everything Everywhere All at Once, winning for Female Actor in a Supporting Role.
I love actors. I love acting. I love the job we get to do. I love being a part of a crew. I love being a part of a cast.
Castmate Ke Kwan took the baton, winning Male Actor in a Supporting Role, the first Asian male to win an individual SAG award.
To all those at home who are watching, who are struggling and waiting to be seen, please keep on going, because the spotlight will one day find you.
I think if I speak, my heart will explode.
Then Michelle Yeoh took Female Actor in a Leading Role, the first Asian woman to receive a leading film acting honor.
This is not just for me. This is for every little girl that looks like me.
And Everything Everywhere ended the night winning Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture, a cast including 94-year-old James Hong, whose career began nearly 70 years ago.
The producer said the Asians were not good enough, and they are not box office. But look at us now, huh?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And now moving on to disturbing things, a disturbing video of a Florida high school student beating a female staffer after she took his Nintendo Switch is catching national attention. As you can see on the footage, the 17-year-old ran towards the woman and shoves her to the ground. He then punches her 15 times. Other staffers luckily got there and separated him from her, and she was sent to the hospital with minor injuries. The teenager has been arrested and is charged with felony battery. That's all I have today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Emma. Certainly tough to watch
Yeah.
and good coverage of it as well. We appreciate you for doing that. But in the sports world, the UCO men and women's basketball teams are heading to postseason play in Kansas City this upcoming week.
And the OKC Thunder is back in action. Jaden Ford has that and more after the break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back, Broncos. I'm Jaden Ford, and this is your Monday Sports Report. The top-ranked Broncos wrestling team hosted regionals this Sunday, and ahead of the most important day of the year, head coach said that we want 10 regional champions, and that's exactly what UCO did. All 10 individuals advanced to the Division II Wrestling Championships, and this is the first time since 2007 UCO has qualified its entire team. At one point, Central held a 77-6 lead in takedowns, helping them capture their third straight regional crown. You can catch the Broncos again in action March 10th in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And let's check in with the Broncos basketball team. The regular season is officially over and it's now time for playoffs. Number 7 Central won against Newman 86-61. And over the weekend, the coaches and players talked about what it means for this game. Head coach Bob Hoffman and Chris Brennick has more to say about this. You can take it to them.
You know, it doesn't matter if you win or lose as far as the playoffs go, but you certainly don't want to end the year with a loss, right?
Yeah, well, I was blunt and straight up with them like I normally am, just saying, hey, this game matters, and you've got to understand why it matters. I mean, as far as the conference tournament, it doesn't matter. Postseason after conference tournament, it definitely matters. And, you know, you don't want to dwell on it or stay there, but I told him, I said, I don't want you at the end of the year to come back and say, man, Coach, I wish you had told us how much that game meant. And so I thought our guys really responded, and our practice was really good. And then our mindset, shoot around early at 8:30 on that Saturday morning when it was pretty cold and slick and you didn't know whether you wanted to be up and around. I thought all that was good, and getting stuck in the elevator.
Over the weekend, Central's tennis team finished 7th at the national tournament, and they also won the indoor national championship 4-3 over Nebraska Kearney. Central will continue play this weekend over St. Mary's and Dallas Baptist. The Oklahoma City Thunder hosted the Sacramento Kings last night, losing 124-115, and the Thunder were indeed without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And even without his 30 points on the court, many believe the Thunder were just a few defensive stops away from winning this game. Three-point specialist Isaiah Joe led the way with 24 points, hitting multiple threes to keep the game close until the Kings eventually pulled away. SGA's injury is day-to-day, and he looks to be back this Sunday versus the Denver Nuggets. And last night was a crazy one. The Portland Trail Blazers and the Houston Rockets faced off, and Damian Lillard literally put the team on his back. He scored 71 points and also hit 13 three-pointers. More importantly, the Trail Blazers did take home the 131-114 win, and even though it was an historic night for Dame, the celebration was short-lived. After the game, Lillard was contacted by the NBA in regards to a drug test. This has become a common thing among pro athletes who have a big game in the NBA or NFL. And surely after a historic performance, that's probably the last thing you want to do. That is all I have for sports. I'll toss it back to the desk. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jaden. And again, we've had some beautiful weather today. Hopefully that sticks around. I know we got some rain in our future, though.
Destiny Pittman has that with our last look at weather on the other side. Keep it here.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Back Broncos, I'm just going to give you some of your weather for the rest of the day. So tonight it is going to be a little chilly. The temperature is going to drop. It's going to be about 42 degrees tonight. The winds are going to slow down though. Currently they're about 13 miles per hour. They're going to drop down to 5 to 7, so nothing too strong. And then the humidity rate is going to be 20%. And then luckily there is no chance. But like I said, Oklahoma, you never know. And then moving on to just some of the weather headlines that you need to keep in mind for the rest of the week. So on Thursday and Friday, there is a low chance of rain and snow. I know that it's really warm outside right now, but later on this week, the temperature is dropping a little, not below freezing, but there is still that chance of snow. So just make sure you keep updated, know what's going on. And like I said, there is a chance of rain Thursday and Friday. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Destiny. That is all the time that we have today. Hopefully you guys stayed safe with the crazy weather.
Yeah, that severe weather kind of came out of nowhere last night. I know it did for me, but keep it here with UCentral. We will keep you very much updated on any more severe weather that looks to be coming down the pipe this spring. But for everyone behind the scenes doing a great job punching buttons and doing everything, I'm Brady Gray.
Yeah, and check our Facebook for weather updates. Always want to give you the best, latest information. But that's all the time we have today. I'm Eden Jones.
Have a good one.